Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Brad with Despite Fitness, and I want to kind of touch on something today that I think is just an interesting point of conversation. There is the potential that somebody could construe what I'm saying as like throwing shade or maybe being less than positive, but the intention isn't to throw shade on any individuals specifically, but generally to talk about kind of an overarching thing that I saw this past weekend at the Kabuki Strength Showdown, the drug-tested meet out in Louisville at Everyday Athletics. The meet director was Eric Freeman, and so I want to start out by saying that the meet, I think, was a very, very good meet considering the social constraints of today. That was an exceedingly well ran and well put together meet. I was surprised to see just how many lifters there were participating in the event, and overall it was a really, really great event. The thing that I wanted to touch on was something that I saw as kind of a repetitive issue throughout the meet. And it really manifested itself and became a problem that caught my attention specifically when it was something that affected my lifter, Olivia. And so I'll show this clip here of one of Olivia's squats, and I want you to pay real careful attention to some of the timing of things. So take a look and check this out and see if you guys can spot what I'm about to talk about.
Black and silver, make it yellow. Let's go. Red, yellow, collar, that is all.
All right, Olivia Hargrove now on her third attempt, state record attempt.
Wait for it.
237 pounds.
Drive, 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 drive. Stay. Oh.
That is no.
Okay, so the thing that I want to highlight is that it's the announcer that jumps in. Take it.
Drive.
So the issue that I had was some of the announcing that kind of went on through the duration of the meet. The announcer kind of took a role of being almost a fourth judge in a lot of the lifts. So anyone that was there will probably know what I'm talking about if they happen to be paying attention to it as well. But quite frequently, as lifters were lifting, the announcer was actually making calls or actually saying like, ooh, when there was a mistake made or whatever. And so that vocal output from the announcer acts as a cue for those judges, right? So it's the judge's responsibility. There are 3 judges, a head judge and 2 side judges. It's the judge's responsibility to be, observant of the lift and make determinations about the lift and the validity of the lifts. That's their job. It is not the announcer's job to act as the fourth judge. And so when the announcer is weighing in and actually making critiques on the lift as the lift is happening, it tends to, draw attention of the judges. Now, mistakes can be made both for a lifter and against a lifter. So if a judge makes a mistake, the element of human error is really there, right? So anytime a human is involved in something, the possibility for error is there. The more people you involve in something, the greater chance there is for error. And so there are times where lifts don't work out well or a call is made and it works out to the detriment of the lifter. There are other times where a call is made and it ends up working out for the benefit of the lifter. So the fact that powerlifting doesn't have a playback or something like that, automatic replay, the fact that powerlifting doesn't have that is I think sometimes nice and sometimes not so nice, right? It just kind of depends on the side that you lean. I actually am a fan of the fact that once the call is made, that's it. Again, like I said, sometimes the calls work out for the lifters and sometimes they don't. But what we don't need in lifting is another person on the outskirts weighing in as though they are a judge. And in this particular instance, it played out against my lifter because as you can see, we'll go back and play the audio. As you can see, Olive walks the squat out. She's stable and ready to go. She gets her down command. She sinks the squat and comes out pretty nicely to a point where she hits kind of a sticking point. And you can see her weight shift back. It's at the point that she slows down and the weight shifts back that the announcer comes in and says, take it. Again, that's not the announcer's role. The announcer's there to really, try to drum up the crowd, talk a little bit about the lifters, try to keep the viewers' interest there and, kind of just be an entertaining voice for the duration of the event. And in this particular case, the announcer was fairly entertaining, and for the most part, I didn't have any problems with what was being done. But the issue that I have is, like I said, when that announcer comes in and starts acting like a fourth judge, they invariably, in this instance, got the attention of the spotters to the point where they jumped in. And again, if you look real carefully, you can see that the spotters don't actually ever touch Olivia. She stands up on her own accord. But by then, there's enough focus or enough kind of attention on whatever that the lift was lost in the judge's mind immediately. As soon as that announcer said, take it, take it, take it, there really was no coming back for Olivia on that lift, whether she got it on her own accord or not. In the judge's mind, the announcer said, take it, take it, take it. The spotters kind of jumped in, and at that moment, the lift was lost. And so it's an unfortunate case for Olivia that it didn't work out. And, in the grand scheme of things, it's just one powerlifting meet. It's just one squat. Honestly, not like I said, it's not that big of a deal. But I think it's an important thing to kind of point out and talk about, just as a facet of lifting and something that maybe you guys should be aware of at home if you are a competitor, that the human element is there. And so sometimes things are going to work out for your benefit and sometimes things are not. But this is a case, unfortunately, that it didn't really work out well for the lifter. But it's just something that I wanted to touch on. Again, I mean to throw no shade at the announcer, and I mean to throw no shade at the meet director, Eric Freeman. Again, it was a very well organized, well ran meet, and I think that again, under the social circumstances and things being what they are, they did an exceedingly well job. Unfortunately, in this case, because the announcer jumped in and made comments about the lift as the lift was happening, my lifter unfortunately missed what would have been a PR lift for her. So it's just something I wanted to come on and talk about. I want to know what you guys think below. If you see, the kind of the sequence of events, how you feel about what that particular squat looked like, and let me know what your thoughts. And again, I don't mean to be overly critical of any individual. It just seemed like an interesting thing to talk about, and so I wanted to throw it on as a video to talk about it and start some dialogue with you guys out there. Again, the fact that there's humans involved, there's going to be some margin of error, and we have to account for that. But that's kind of what YouTube's about, having things to talk about. So let me know what your thoughts are. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave in the chat box below. I'll be sure to respond. I appreciate you guys continuing to do everything that you've done to help the channel grow. Hope to make it even more this year. I want to get up to 10,000, and I need your help for that. So if you haven't subbed up, I wish that you would. Remember, guys, no matter what it is you think you can't do, go compete and do your best at what, whatever you want to do, right? Whatever your various endeavors are. It's never going to happen unless you get in and train to spite. You're either going to find an excuse or you're going to find a way. And remember, sometimes it always doesn't work out for you. Sometimes things don't really work out. But it can be those failure points. It can be points of learning for all of us. And that's ultimately how we all get better, is being able to look at things and reflect on maybe some failure points and where things can improve. So that's all I aim to do here. I hope that you guys understand. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to before you count me out.